Hello and welcome to Final Fantasy XIV. My name is Brian and this is my Healing 102 guide in which I'm focusing on the cross-roll abilities for healers. In my Healing 101 guide I talked about tips and tricks for beginners, and in my Healing 103 guide I'm covering stats and my thoughts on healing in general. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into our cross-roll abilities. The first ability is Cleric Stance. This is an instant ability and it's got a 90-second recast. What it does is it increases your attack magic potency by 5% for 15 seconds. This is acquired at level 8. If you were playing this game pre-Stormblood, this actually is a big change to the game itself. Namely, Cleric Stance used to be a toggle, but now it's just like an insta buff. And at its root, it just adds an additional 5% damage. If you decide to take this for your build, it's really up to you. Do you want an additional 5%? If you find yourself wanting to output just even more damage, this might be an ability to take. But let's cover the other abilities and then let you make the decisions. Break is a spell that deals unaspected damage with a potency of 50. The additional effect here is that it applies a 20% heavy effect to your target that lasts 20 seconds. This is acquired around level 12. Protect is a great ability, I can't recommend it enough. This is going to increase your physical and magic defense of the target and all party members nearby. It has a range of 30 yalms and it's learned at level 16. If you're not the healer, anytime you go into content, someone has this ability. It's fantastic. It is a great way to help reduce physical and magical, damage that's incoming. Anytime that you get resurrected, it does go away, so you will have to reapply this in that case. Insuna is one of those other abilities that I rank very highly on. You probably want to take this ability. This is going to remove a single detrimental effect from your target. This is learned around level 20. How you know what effects can be removed is that if you look at the arrow pointing down, any debuff that's on your target is going to have an image with an arrow pointing down. A buff has an arrow pointing up. So an arrow pointing down will have a blue bar on the top of it. If you see that blue bar with that pointing down arrow, that means it is a debuff that you can remove with Insuna. If you don't have a blue bar, Insuna, you can cast it all day. It's not going to do anything for you. But you're going to find that this is an ability that is very handy to have, especially later on in different content. Lucid Dreaming is another one of my personal favorites. It does have a 120-second recast time, so every 2 minutes you can use this, but it's going to cut your hate, basically your enmity or aggro, in half. This also has an additional effect of refresh, with a potency of 80 that's going to last for 21 seconds. This is one of those abilities that I said earlier that help you restore your MP. The additional effect that your hate is cut in half is actually very handy. If you find yourself pulling a lot of hate, you can easily use this and half of it goes away. Not a bad trade-off in my opinion. Eye for an eye. This is going to put a magic barrier around a single party member or pet that's going to last for 20 seconds. The barrier's effect though is a 20% chance then that when it's hit, the striker is going to deal 10% less damage. And then that debuff is going to last for 10 seconds. This can be very handy, especially on a tank and big ad pulls. This is effectively cutting down the incoming damage that is applied to them, and it goes by target. This is learned around level 36, but it has a 180-second recast. Large S is another one of my personal favorites. It increases your healing magic potency by 20%, and it's going to last for 20 seconds. It's got a 90-second recast time, but an additional 20% healing to your different abilities and spells can go a long way. And especially when things get really kind of dicey and you need to get them up quicker, this is a great ability to have. And 90 seconds actually isn't that long. It's going to be every minute and a half you're going to be able to use this ability. Swiftcast. I cannot recommend this enough. Swiftcast, Raise, Swiftcast, Holy, Swiftcast any ability that takes any amount of time to cast, and it's now an instacast spell. It's on a 60-second timer, so this is a really great ability because it's going to constantly be up and available for you every minute. Every minute on the minute you can Swiftcast. In fact, I would recommend making sure you're rotating that into your normal rotation. If no one is in threat of dying, there's no reason to sit on it, so you can end up easily turning any ability, like anything that takes any kind of amount of time to cast, into an instacast ability. So, my mind is that if I'm running a white mage, I'll Swiftcast Holy. Same thing for Gravity. Same thing for those big AoE abilities that just take, a little annoying amount of time. It's up to you though. I don't want to pressure you into taking this ability, but I think you'll thank me later. Surecast. On a 30-second recast time, spells can be cast without interruption. This also nullifies most knockback and draw-in effects. That can be very important because I've seen in the past, and this is a change to this ability, where you can be interrupted, but then they just knock you back, and then that knockback actually would, fully interrupt your casting. So that is an addition and a buff because this is also on a 30-second recast time. Now, the Surecast ability lasts for 5 seconds. So, roughly there's 25 seconds at any given time that it would be down. The recast isn't that bad. It's not anything I personally enjoy, but it's up to you. If you find yourself getting interrupted, maybe pick up Surecast. And finally, we have Rescue. This instantly draws in a target party member to your side, but this cannot be used outside of combat or when the target is suffering from certain enfeeblements. This is a great ability, especially if you have somebody who is just not going to be able to get out of any particular, incoming damage. You can just bring them right to your side. It's really fast and effective. People were calling this a troll type ability when it was first introduced. I haven't seen much use of that, or people trolling with it. But again, it can be something that you can take. I personally would not recommend taking Rescue if you're doing pickup groups because, again, we talked about synergy in our first video, and that being as important as it is, Rescue would be a great ability for a group that knows you have it and can rely on you to use it when you need it. It's an ability that's going to take practice because, again, it's got a 150-second recast, so it's not going to be something you're using all the time, nor should you use it all the time. Well, that is it for my cross-roll healing abilities overview. Hopefully this has been helpful and you can take this and build from it. You get 5 cross-roll abilities to pick from, and obviously there are more than 5 abilities here. So the choice is up to you. Everybody's going to have an opinion on what you should take, and I'd recommend listening to them, but at the end of the day, take what abilities you work with the best. Some abilities I think really outweigh other abilities like Protect and Swift Cast, so it might end up being that you have maybe 3 choices to pick from. Some abilities I personally think could use a little bit of buffs, like Cleric Stance, but I'm going to let you make the choices as to what is right for your build. But I'd love to know your builds and what abilities you run, so sound off in the comments below and we can have that conversation about what abilities are best for what situations and maybe even what content. Anyway, this has been Brian for Work to Game. Thanks so much for watching this video, and be sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video and share it with your friends. Thanks again for watching, and we hope to see you in our other videos. But until next time, I hope you have a fantastic week, and take care.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Brian, do you think there's anywhere they could catch us in the meantime?
Right now, Chris, we're probably on Twitch. If it's probably in the afternoon, it could be you. Sometimes you see my face. And we also found this random guy, named Kevin on the street somewhere.
I accidentally left my password written on the side of my car.
Oh man, that was really a big mistake. But guys, we really appreciate it if you guys hit the link in the description below for our Twitch page. We'd love to see you over there. And you can even subscribe to us over on Twitch.
If you're Amazon Prime, that could even be free.
Oh my gosh, what a deal.
Well, cool. Well, thanks guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.